So guys, I will just share my screen quickly.
Nice music, Jackie.
Yeah, set the tone for the presentation.
Yeah, I'm just sharing. Okay, so just give me a second. Just let me know once you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Sitin, it's loading. Yeah, we can see now.
Okay. Yeah, so guys, welcome to Surat 56 Surat MuleSoft Meetup, and the topic for today is Anypoint Code Builder. So basically, it's really, I think it's in beta version yet. So rather, we'll be going to discuss what are the features provided by Anypoint Code Builder. Before we start this session, let me go with some safe harbor statement. So both speaker and the host are organizing this meetup in the individual capacity. We are not responsible for, we are not representing any organization here. The presentation is strictly for the learning purpose, and we are not holding any responsibility whether the same solution work for your business requirement. And this not need for any promotional activities. So housekeeping, the recording of the meetup will be uploaded to the event page within 24 hours. So you can see, you can find the recording on the YouTube channel, and like you can find the recording on the event page within 24 hours. You can ask the question at any time. We encourage people to ask the questions, keep on asking a lot of questions. Like I know like everybody cannot answer everything, but we will try to give like as more as answers possible. And at the end, like we are not receiving more feedback. I'm requesting everybody to provide more and more feedback for this particular session, so we can improve for the future meetups, and it is also useful for the speaker. So organizer myself is Jitendra Bapna, and Nitish is the other organizer. I will just skip the introduction. So Ananda, you can share your screen and just start with the session. I will just unshare my screen.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. So can you see my screen, Jackie? Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so brief introduction. I think I already speak a lot. So I have almost 18 years of experience and more than 5 years, I think almost 6 years I'm working in MuleSoft, and I'm working as a senior integration architect and project manager in TCS. So, and yeah,
Ananda,
yeah, sorry.
sorry to cut you. Your
Yeah.
screen is not visible. Okay, I think it's coming
Oh,
blank.
okay. Just one moment.
Sorry to cut you, man.
No problem, no problem. That's okay.
It's
Let
the
me
same thing
reshare.
for others. It's the same thing for others.
Yeah, like he shared, but I think he haven't shared any PPT. It was just the
Okay. Hmm.
VV screen.
Okay. Okay, I think how do I share? Okay. Now I got it. So I have to share the entire screen. Sorry, my bad. I think now you can see my screen. Uh,
Perfect. Yeah.
you can see it. Okay. Okay. So I think that's in short my introduction. And today I'm going to. I mean, mostly I will show you on the actual console that how Anypoint Code Builder we can use it, and this is what is the agenda for the day. I'm just keep skipping it, and this before going to that actual Anypoint Code Builder, let me give some introduction. So this Anypoint Code Builder, it's a cloud-based IDE what MuleSoft has recently launched in beta version, and this is a single environment through which you can design, develop, and deploy your uh, APIs and integration, and it's a lightweight IDE, obviously. And Anypoint Code Builder is the next gen IDE, as MuleSoft is mentioning it as the next gen IDE. So yeah, it's still in beta version. It's not recommended to use at this moment for any of your production ready code. Means if you are targeting to deploy a code for in your production for your actual business purpose, don't use Anypoint Code Builder for that at this moment. But very soon MuleSoft will launch their GA version, and then we can use it for our original development. Till then, I think since MuleSoft it's in beta version, we should explore it as much as possible. And I will show you that if there is any issue, bug, or new feature you uh, want to add in the Anypoint platform, Anypoint code builder, you can go ahead and log that particular requirement, and MuleSoft Anypoint code builder team is actively monitoring that GitHub location, and they will definitely connect with you. So as mentioned, as I'm showing on the screen that it is in, I think I have covered more or less everything. So it's in the open beta version, and this Anypoint code builder at this moment, it's only available on US Cloud Control. So if you are using a Anypoint platform or your account is on US region, you will get this option, Anypoint code builder beta version. But if you are on Europe or government cloud, it's not yet available over there. uh, Other than that, it's actually developed on Visual Code Base, and they have created Anypoint. MuleSoft has come up with some extension, which is those through those extension on Visual Code Builder, you can start developing your code, which is actually that entire package is called Anypoint Code Builder. So I just go to let me know if my other screen. Can you see my screen? And I'm right now on Anypoint Code Builder. I'm right now on my trial version Anypoint
Yes,
platform.
yes, Anand.
It's visible, right? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. Okay, so once you open your Anypoint, account, so you can see there is a Code Builder beta option available. Even if I go to Anypoint platform, so you can see that option is available as Anypoint code builder. So now if you are the since I am on the trial account, so I have the full access, so I can start using it. But for a real scenario, this access would be first have the org admin, who is the master admin of that master org, they have the access for this Anypoint code builder, and they need to, at this moment, they need to accept the beta version agreement. So once they have that beta version agreement, then they can provide permission to other user, so that other user can start using the Anypoint code builder. So if you go to access management, and if you go to users, so this is because this is my trial account, I am the only user. So you can see there is a privilege for permission called Anypoint code builder, and I have that permission. This permission needs to be assigned to a specific developer, and then that developer having access to this Anypoint platform can start using Anypoint code builder. So Anypoint code builder developer access that your admin can give. And if your admin cannot see this code builder option, then they need to connect with the account executive, and MuleSoft will help. And as I mentioned, that it is right now only available in US zone. So Europe or zone or government cloud, you will not have that option available. That entire Endpoint code builder functionality is not available. So once you click on Anypoint code builder, you need to launch this web ID, and when you launch first time, it will take some time. I already launched it, and my Anypoint code builder already opened up. Before going to that, I want to show you something else. So this is your manage your ID section, where from you will get that what is the version of your ID, and you will get the details. So this is the URL which you want to, if you want to test any application from your Anypoint code builder, this is the URL you need to use. We'll see to that. I'll show you how to use it. And this is when that code build, that Anypoint code builder was first time launched for me. So I opened this account on 16th of March, and that's the first time I started using this particular trial account. I exploring Anypoint code builder from that point onwards. And this is the image version. So you can reboot your Anypoint code builder. You can delete the entire Anypoint code builder using this manage your IDE section. So now I move to this code builder. Once we launch to this Anypoint code builder, what we need to do, we need to click on this. Once I click on this, this welcome means these options will be available. So from here, I can design an API, I can implement an API, and can develop an integration. There are help section available. So if you click on these sections, it will directly take you to MuleSoft documentation on these. I mean within that with the details of all these specific actions. So whatever I explored so far, I'm not mostly, entirely I use this MuleSoft documentation, and even now also I have opened this. I mean, this is the documentation section, so which is a very detailed documentation. And going through this, if you start exploring, you can get everything. I mean, you can explore the entire thing. Okay, so I was just checking that how to add a watch expression and all. So yeah, so it's an extensive documentation. So using, I think that's the, I mean, at least my recommendation, if anyone start exploring Anypoint code builder, start with that documentation and start exploring Anypoint code builder. I think it's not, I mean, it's very easy with them. Okay, and the documentation cover each and every detail step. So once we get into this Anypoint code builder, once we launch it, so first another thing I want to show you, we can, I mean, just for exploration purpose, these are the extension which has been provided as part of Anypoint code builder. But code builder, I mean, you can understand this is, I mean, from that look and feel, this is the Visual Code Studio, and within that, this for Anypoint code builder, MuleSoft has provided that extension. And if you can see, there is a Mule runtime extension, which is the packaged Mule runtime, which is actually equivalent to our local runtime. When I say local runtime in Anypoint Studio, similar thing. So even if I launch this Anypoint code builder from my Anypoint platform, whatever locally I'm going to deploy or test or run, it will not going to impact any of your core which you already acquired through your license on your Anypoint platform. I think it's clear, right? I mean, I able to explain it. So that means if I have a, through my license, I got 2 core, but when I'm going to deploy this Anypoint, I mean, I built some application on this Anypoint code builder, and I'm deploying that application on Anypoint code builder locally for testing purpose, then it will not going to consume any of that code, because part of this Anypoint code builder I am getting a local runtime also, and which is this MuleSoft runtime extension. Okay, so now what I will do, I will go to this Anypoint code builder, and then I can go to this home section. If I go to home section, this welcome kit will available, and here also will get all these tutorial links. And for now, suppose I mean, sorry, for now to do some look and feel change and everything, I can go to help and I can click on get started. So get started is anyways or opened up, but from here you can go to this get started section, and from here you can come to this VS Code, and I can change, I mean, if I want, I can change my theme. It can be light, it can be dark. I mean, I'm just right now I'm using this theme, but you can change it as per your convenience. You can change it to any other theme also. So if I select this, it will change like this. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, so now as per setup, so one of the setup, but as I already shown, that you need to have the proper permission, or which your MuleSoft admin will provide for to use this Anypoint code builder. The next thing what you need to do, you have to, if you want to see the log for this extension, go over here and to this view section, and here you will find the output section. So this is already open. From output, you select this Mule DX server. So if you select that, it will start showing you all the log about all the extension which MuleSoft has bundled up for Anypoint code builder. So anyways, I never see these logs, because as of now, whatever problem I faced, I just put it onto this GitHub section. So this is the next thing what I want to show you. So while exploring this Anypoint code builder, you might come across few product related bug or issue, or maybe you, while exploring, you can realize that some additional feature is needed and can be included into this Anypoint code builder, and you can directly let it to know to MuleSoft Anypoint code builder product team. So you can click over here and it will open this particular GitHub page. So you have to log in using your GitHub user account, and then suppose if I want, and these are the template MuleSoft has already created. So if I want to report a bug, I can click on get started over here, and then I can provide a title, and accordingly I can update what bug I am reporting. And if you uh, want to do a feature request, you can use this particular template. So any general feedback also you can provide. If you feel there is any security vulnerability, you can actually see the policy. So this way, and there, I mean, I have reported one bug because I was in between, I was facing some issue deploying my code to Cloud Hub, and they usually, even if it is in beta version, but because it's in very much focus from MuleSoft side, is a very focused product at this moment. So MuleSoft product team is connecting and responding to this bug very fast. Okay, within 24 hours they resolved that issue because there were some issue with the Windows machine, and I was facing that issue for deploying my code. So anyways, let's move on to next topic. Is there any question, or I'm moving too fast because I need to cover a lot of things? That's why probably I'm a little bit fast. So I'm just giving a pause if there is any question. Okay. So, am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So next thing what we need to do is that we can create a home directory. So basically home directory means that's the directory under which we are, whatever API or whatever raml or integration we are going to create, so that we are going to utilize, I mean that, I mean we can set a specific folder, and we can organize our codes, our API within that folder. So before that, I also show you one thing. So that is the command palette. So if you go to command palette and type MuleSoft, you can see whatever activity from whatever MuleSoft related commands are possible. So one of the thing first I will do, I will log into Anypoint platform. So if I log into Anypoint platform, that means my Anypoint code builder will be connected to my Anypoint platform. So I'll just click on allow. I will click on open, and will open this Anypoint code build, but it's nothing. I mean, I just, once it's done, I will just close it here. Now it's saying me that I can close this page, and once it's done, you can see it's my user ID. That means I am already logged in. So now from Anypoint code builder, I can access resources from Exchange, or I can upload my raml to design centers. All these things I can do. So now coming back to home directory, I can go to file and I can open a folder. So that folder will show me that this is my home directory. So this is my, I mean, there is one folder MuleSoft automatically created using my user profile, and under that I can create new directory. I mean, I can click on OK. So I already created some directory called demo or new directory. So I can create OK, and then just 1 minute. It's, yeah. So now from here I can add new folder under this. Okay. The other option is that I can open a terminal directly. I mean, if you want to create it using commands, so you can click a new terminal. It's still opening. Yes. So from here, I can put a command like mkdir, and I can do anything like this. And it will create one more directory under my home directory. So if I now go to file and so file and I will go to open file. I can see this new directory, and maybe I'll next point onwards, whatever code I am going to create, I can create this code inside this folder. So this way you can create your directories, and when you first time create the directory, it might ask you to trust that full directory or that folder. So you have to allow. I mean, it's just an option. You can allow it, and then you can use that directory as your new workspace, or for a directory to keep your RAML specification or any other API specification. So this is how you can customize, or you can set your home directory. Okay, so now I'm going to close the file, close the folder. So you can close the folder. Okay. So now next thing what I will want to show you, that suppose I already have a code created in my Anypoint studio, and I want to import that into Anypoint code builder. So this is a very simple code I have just created, and just for experiment purpose I created a small property file, and here actually I am using this properties to, I mean, basically standard practice what we used to follow in our Anypoint studio. I just want to, I mean, I was just experimenting whether the same thing can work seamlessly on Anypoint code builder or not. So yeah, so these are this host and code I am referring from that property file, and it's a hello world kind of very simple code. I mean, nothing fancy. So what I did, I just take that code and I export that code from here, and this is already exported, and this is the jar file. Let me show you once again. So I kept the jar over here. So now I'm going to import it into Anypoint code builder. So how I can do this, I will open this, and I am going to, first I need to open the directory. So I am going to open the folder. Let me use this demo folder. Okay, let me give me some, I mean, it will take some time to open the folder. Yeah, now the folder is open, and here already I have created one or two, I think this is one RAML specification I have created, and this is a MuleSoft implementation, hello world kind of implementation. Now I want to uh, create one, I mean, I want to import my application which I already created through my Anypoint studio. So what I will do, I will open this, let me minimize it, and I will drag and drop this particular jar file over here. So it's getting included here. So once it's get included, I will press Shift Control P. So Shift Control P is the shortcut for command palette, and from here I can import a Mule project. So this is the option. So I click on that, and now I will select that jar, and it's importing. So it's very easy. Yeah. So it's imported. This is the code what I created over there. I mean, what I created on Anypoint Studio. Now it's available on my Anypoint code builder. And if I click over here, it will show me the UI console. So it's populating the UI. it's appearing. Sometimes it takes some time because it's online. I mean, it's a cloud-based platform, so based on my internet speed and all. Yeah. So if I click over here, it will fit within the window, and you can see this is the new look and feel. I mean, last week MuleSoft has introduced some additional feature as well as some changes. So the flow list is now looks like this. Earlier it was a little bit different. If you click over there, and you can see these flows. So anyways, new feature I will cover at the end because I am also exploring that. So anyways, this is the small code what I have written. So now once I import this code, so next thing is that if you want to work on top of that, so you can start writing or extending this code. And second thing is that if you want to test it, which we are going to do, now we are to locally going to ping this application and see that whether it is working properly or not from Anypoint code builder. So for that, what we will do, we will go to run and we will click on this start debugging. So one more thing, I mean, I'm not sure, this is my personal experience, and I think I need to lodge another one report. I mean, if I run without debugging, I don't know, every time I get some issue with the uh, this DWL comments. So, but it's absolutely working fine when I'm doing start debugging. So maybe I yet not logged it into that GitHub where I show you that in that issue section. But I yet not tried for after last week, so not sure whether it has been already fixed or not. If it is not fixed, probably I'm going to log issue on this GitHub directory. And if you guys are also exploring and find this working, please do let me know, because maybe I'm missing something, I'm not sure. So anyways, now it's got deployed and I can see my application is running on port 8081. So I can open it in a browser directly, and if you see that this is how, I mean, it's slightly different than how we test from locally from Anypoint Studio. It's not like localhost slash colon 8081 or my port and then slash the end path. It's like, I mean, this is the path which we need to, or this is the host for my Anypoint code builder. And if I don't able to get that host, I can always refer these things. Okay, I can view ID detail, and this is my host. I can copy it, I can use it, and sorry, and then I have to put a proxy slash proxy, and then the port what I am using in my listener port is 8081, so I'm using 8081, and then slash, and then I have to put the endpoint. So if now I click it, I can get that output. I mean, this is the output I was printing from my application. So yeah, every time I print, it will change the time. So yeah, so that means it's working, and I can able to ping my application from this browser. Now, question is that, I mean, it's a simple application, so using browser I can ping it. But probably see if it is a complicated application or some kind of post kind of operation I have to test, then probably I have to use a REST client. So suppose I want to use Postman to test this application. So that for that, I mean, the same way you have to do it. First, you need to run the application in debug mode, and rest of the things same. Only thing is that you need to add a header cookies for using, I mean, connecting or pinging your uh, application running on Anypoint code builder locally from Postman. So for that, what I will do, first I will click on F12 from my machine. If I open F12, it will show me this developer code, and then I have to go to applications, and under application there is storage. From storage I need to go inside cookies, and if I click on this, actually I used it earlier, so automatically it is showing me, but maybe sometimes you will get it like this. I mean, once you press F12, it will launch the page with this. So then you have to go to application, and then from application under storage you have to come over here, and these are the two parameters you need to copy paste. So the val name as well as the value. So auth proxy seek and auth proxy. I have already defined it. So what I have to do, I have to add this header cookie, and I have to, as value, I have to provide this name value pair separated with a semicolon. Okay. And I have to provide the same URL like I show whatever I used in my browser, the same URL I am using over here. Now if I send it, I will get the output. But if I don't use this header, it will not work. Yeah, it will give me an error. So this header is, I mean, this cookie header we need to set to locally test our application from Anypoint code builder using Postman or REST client or any external um, REST, I mean, any external application through which I can connect to my Anypoint code running on my Anypoint code builder. So any question, I'm just giving a pause. So I'm still audible, right? I'm just checking that. Okay. If there is no question, I can move forward. Okay. So if once it is done, you have to stop the application. I can stop the application from here. So it will, if I click on this, it will stop the application. And now suppose you want to deploy the code on your cloud hub environment, and at this moment from Anypoint code builder you can deploy only on cloud hub 1.0. As of now there is no support for cloud hub 2.0, so you can deploy it through this rocket symbol. I mean, you can click over here and it will start deploying. It will work. Refresh it, or maybe it is creating the deploy.json file, so taking time. Refresh it once. Yeah. So either I can click on this particular deploy to cloud hub symbol, or maybe I can go to command palette and there is an option. Yeah, I can check this deploy to cloud hub option. Just waiting that so that it should. Okay. See. Yeah. So first time it will create a deploy.json. So if this file is already created, then it will not create it once again. But first time if this file is not there, so once you click on this, Anypoint code builder will automatically create this deploy.json file where you have that configuration mentioned. So Anypoint code builder at this moment only support runtime 4.4.0, and as I mentioned, you can deploy only on cloud hub. So you can define your worker size. Main important thing is that before you deploy, always check two things. One is that you all have correct permission to deploy on Anypoint platform, so you can go and check on your runtime manager. And second thing is that ensure that this specific application name is unique, because as you know that cloud hub 1.0, your application name needs to be universally unique, so that these two things should comply. Now if I click on this, now it is asking me that which, I mean, because in my trial version I have only two environments, I will select sandbox and it will start deploying. Yes, it started. So let me see the runtime manager. Sandbox. I hope it started deploying. Yeah, so this is started. Sorry, this one is started. Sorry, this one I already deployed. So this is what is getting start deploying. So it will take some time. By that time, we can go to other topics. So you can click on this application, you can check the logs. I mean, from this point onwards, it's our normal deployment process, whatever we used to do using our Anypoint Studio, the same thing. Okay, so now let me move into any questions so far. I mean, if there is anything.
Ananda,
Yeah.
yeah. So Kalyani was asking, right? Yeah, what you did is you imported a code in the code builder, right? So I think people are assuming that we cannot write a code over here,
No, we
right?
can do that. That's the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
section
yeah.
we are going to
That's
do.
that's right.
So yeah. So before that, I show you, because sometimes what happened, maybe we have already written a code in Anypoint Studio, and now it's time to go and move to. I mean, I want to do further development from Anypoint Code Builder. So this is the way how you can import your code from Studio to Code Builder. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that the main purpose of Anypoint Code Builder to work as a standalone ID. So definitely you can write a code from here. So that is what we are going to see now.
Yeah.
So if I click on this Anypoint Code Builder, as I show you that there are three things, right? So first, let us go to design and API. So if you go to design and API,
Ananda,
yeah, sorry.
yeah, you can show one more time. That Arun was asking, like, can you show those cookies values, right? Go to developer tool and
Okay. Sure,
yeah.
sure. Let me cancel it. Close these things. If I click on F12, it will take me. So these are the cookies values. So the name will be same for everyone. The value will change. I mean, this value is specific to me, and if for your case it will be different. So that these values will be different, but these two names will be same. And when you provide this header value, you have to, the header name is cookie, and the value is, you have to give the name, then equal to, then the value, then semicolon, then the next parameter name equal to, and then the next parameter value. So this is how you have to set it on your. I mean, I am using Postman. If you are using any other thing like REST client and all, they are also need to do the same. I mean, you need to follow the same convention.
Thanks, Ananda.
No problem. And everything, as I mentioned, everything is available in the documentation. So I mean, you need not to remember any of the thing whatever I am showing. Documentation should tell you everything step by step. Okay, I also learned it from the documentation only. So yeah, so let me go to this design and API section. So this is where I can create my RAML. So Anypoint platform support, Anypoint code builder support both RAML. It also support Open API specification. So I mean, it has an extensive support for your RAML creation. So now if I create something, say, because I'm not going to create a RAML over here, I already created a RAML, but just to show you how to create it, I mean, start creating, I'm just doing something. Let me paste API Ananda, something like this. And now you can create a project location. So here is that locally, if you want to, suppose I want to organize all my RAML in a specific folder under my home directory. So here I am using this demo directory, but in reality, you can create API, another directory API specification, and keep your all, I mean, manage your all RAML locally over there. You can create a separate workspace directory for all your API code. So that way it will be more better managed. Okay, so I'm selecting this folder. For the time being, I'm not following those standard, but ideally I think that will be much better way to manage API specification versus the code. So let me close it. So I click, yeah, no. So these are the language supported. So I'm going to use RAML 1.0 for my purpose. And this business group, again, last week it has been introduced. So earlier to that what happened is that anything you are creating, anything you are using in terms of organization, you are always supposed to use the root organization. So that was a limitation in Anypoint Code Builder. But last week they have introduced that where you can choose the business group. So actually, for just demo purpose, I have created a parent. My parent business group name was demo, but I also created a child business group, which is demo SCB. Let me show you. So, okay, I think this one is also deployed. So I go to my access management. Yeah, so I just created this, and now I can see that my Anypoint Code Builder can refer it. So I can put my assets or ramels in the demo level, or I can put it in this business group. So I'm just clicking demo, and now if I click, I will create a project. It will create a project. So it start creating the API specification. So beauty of this Anypoint Code Builder is that you need not to go to Design Center, create your RAML, then you have to come to Anypoint Studio, start doing your implementation. Here, Anypoint Code Builder, you can do everything from a single place. So now you can see this is the RAML file and it's an empty file. Now I can create a resource over here. Suppose I'm just giving some. Now what I will do, I am typing control spacebar. If I do that control spacebar, it will start giving me the references, or it will give me start giving me what should be my next step. Okay, so suppose I am using test, and then I want to put a method say get, and then I put control space bar. It will ask giving me the options, what all options I can define here. Correct. So similar to Design Center, right? Only thing difference is that Design Center, it will automatically start coming in the underline window pane. Here you type control space bar, you will get the options available. So I can take body, and then if I control spacebar, I can select application slash JSON. Control spacebar, I can take examples. So all these things I can do. Okay, I'm not doing it further because I already have one created. So for the interest of time, let me open that. So folder, I can go to this demo customer API. So it's clear, right? Control spacebar is the key. I mean, it will ease out your life. You need not to remember all the RAML means all the RAML commands. Okay, so this is what I have created, this entire RAML. And when I create it, at the time of creation, I can open the API console, so that while writing the RAML, I can also see that, I mean, this is the page. I mean, if I click over here, I think it's taking some time. Somehow it's becoming slow. A little bit slow because maybe because of my network. I'm not sure. It's not coming. Yeah. So while I'm developing from the beginning, the API console will show me that whether I'm developing it correctly, the RAMLs are getting formatted correctly or not. Not formatted, I mean created correctly or not. And I can test my RAML from here. Like you click on that get, I can click on this try it. Similar what we do in Design Center, and I can click on send. and I can see that response are coming. So I can mock my RAML from Anypoint code builder itself. Okay, so like a RAML, you can also create your own. You can also create your API fragments. Means you can create traits, you can create libraries, you can create data types. So everything is possible from Anypoint code builder. So once you created it, definitely you want to sync up this RAML with your design center. So let me go to my design center here. If you see my design center, so I have a test API, I have a hello world. So now I want to sync up all this demo customer API RAML. So what I will do, I will go to this source control. So once I go to source control, I need to stage my changes. Okay, go here. You can see once I click on, it was showing actually what happened earlier. I mean, before I start my presentation, I uploaded this particular RAML to Design Center, and then I deleted it from Design Center because I want to show you that how I'm going to upload it. So that's why technically it is the second version. I did some changes over here, and now I can see that what is the, so it will show you clearly that what is the change. So this is the change. I add a comma over here and I add one more line over here. So red means I have changed this, I mean whatever I have changed on the source side, I mean on the earlier version, and green means this is what I have added. So same thing, I mean red means you have deleted something, green means you have added something. So that way you can clearly understand or clearly review that what changes you are actually done and what changes you are now going to push on your design center, and it will follow the same GitHub comments. So now to commit, I can give a comment here, like comment here, sorry. So maybe second draft of customer API or something like this. Definitely you can give a better comment than this. Okay, and then I will click on this commit. Once it's get committed, I can sync the changes, and now I'm pushing the changes. So I will say okay. I think some rate is not sure. I'm not sure why it is failed to authenticate to Git remote. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not debugging it further, but it's actually works. Earlier I able to load it. I don't know if I because I deleted it from here, and now something is. So this is the git log. So I need to debug it. That's why it is not giving me some error. And it's clearly showing authentication failed. I'm not sure why it is showing authentication failed. Because let me check. Yeah, I'm logged into this. Okay, anyways, but this is the step. I think, I mean, this is how you can sync up your RAML with your design center. So once your RAML is I mean, once you put it in the design center, then you can change it from here, or you can change it in the design center itself. I mean, for further changes, and you can sync up, keep on syncing up your RAML between design center and Anypoint code build. So now, once it is done, you can publish your RAML to your exchange. So for that, again, I'm opening the command palette, and I am going to import the just 1 minute. I am going to publish my API specification to Exchange. So I will take this option. Let me see. Anyways, now it's starting uploading to asking me for username. Not sure giving. I'm not sure whether the connectivity got. Do I need to relaunch it? I want to relaunch because it takes some time. Let me try to publish it on Exchange from here. I'm sorry, guys, I'm getting some weird error. I mean, I never faced this error earlier. So, let's see. Publish. Now when okay, because it's not allowing me to publish. Let's see if I have any other. Let me do one thing. Let me copy this YAML from here. Let's see if that works. So again, I'm trying to sync up this with the design center because I'm facing with that ramen. I'm facing some issue. I'm not sure what is the issue. So let me stage it on the changes. Same thing. Okay, so entire thing is green because this is the new ramen, and I'm committing it. Some message. It's getting committed now. Let's give it some message. Now I'm going to sync the changes. I will click yes. So it will periodically fetch. So now I think it's working. So what I have done is that actually I'm instructing that I will periodically fetch this from Git. Basically, if I upload anything on the design center, I mean update that ramel on design center. So periodically, Anypoint code builder will fetch and keep it in sync. So I think this is the test API. Yeah, this is my new. Yes, so this is my new ramel. Let me open it up. What I created. So now it is visible on my design center. So whatever I have added just now, that copy paste thing, that is how, I mean, it's now getting reflected on the design center also. So earlier the ramel, what I don't know, I mean, today morning I just deleted it from design center and something happened, so that's why that ramel is not working. I need to check it. But anyways, I think you got the step how we can sync up between the ramel between design center and Anypoint code builder. And again, I can test it from here. Now let's start see how I can publish it to Exchange. Publish a specification to Exchange. Yeah, so it's asking me, so if I enter, I will accept the values. Yes, I'm accepting all the default values. It's publishing API specification to Exchange. Yeah, so API specification successfully published to Exchange. Now it's asking me that whether you want to implement the API right away. So I will select yes if I want to start implementation right away. If I don't want to start the implementation right away, I have to select no, and then I can take that API or RAML specification from Exchange later. But for the interest of time, I'm clicking on yes. So it's asking me a project name, so say test, something like that. Okay. So now it will start scaffolding that ramel and create that flow for me. That's what it's trying doing. So it's doing the scaffolding. Meanwhile, we can go to Exchange and see. Exchange. Yeah. So this is what has been published on Exchange. So let me go to now. If you go see, I click here, it will give me the visual portion. So whatever flow we have defined or whatever resources we have defined in the ramel, based on that it's created a basic, I mean the it's scaffolded that ramel and created the API specification, or and now I can implement it. I mean interface got created, now I can implement it on top of that. So same thing what we used to do in Anypoint Studio. Once I have the ramel, I can download the ramel from Exchange, and then I can start creating. I mean, I have my API kit router, and then I can start creating basic flow. It will create based on my ramel resources and methods, and then on that flow, I can extend that flow or expand that flow further. So router is here. So same thing. Okay, and if you can go to the flow, a list of flow, it will show all the flow we have created. Okay, so only advantage in Anypoint code builder is that you need not to create the ramel on design center. You can create your ramel, you can test your ramel, and then you can publish your ramel on Exchange, and then you can scaffold that ramel and start your implementation, everything from a single place. So that is the main advantage of using Anypoint code builder. So now what we'll do, I'm not going to further develop anything. Let me show you one more thing, uh, which is to how to implement a MuleSoft application. So if I go here, so there are three options, right? So as I mentioned that if you don't want to immediately start implementing your ramel, you can publish the exchange, take that option no, and you can do your further work, and later on when you want to start implement your RAML specification, you can click on this implement an API option, and this will give, I mean, you can give any, I'm just giving a project name and project location. Okay, so now you can search assets. So here you can search your RAML from your exchange. So you can search anything, say demo, enter. You will see all the RAML with this name are available. So let me expand it just one more, because there are yeah. So now here are filters are also available. Instead of giving some name, you can search by tag. This is again last week this feature has been introduced. It was not there earlier. You can by any time you can select. I mean, I can only use REST API, so I can see all the REST API available. You can, based on your category on exchange or based on the organization, you can get the, I mean, you can limit your search, narrow down your search, and whatever RAML you want to use, you can take it and you can start using it. So one limitations as of now is here. In Anypoint Code Builder, you can only refer the latest version of the RAML specification. If suppose if you have two version, you cannot take the earlier version because it will always show you the latest version. So it's a limitation. I mean, MuleSoft has also published this is the current limitation. Maybe later version they will come up with a solution for that. So okay, so that's it. Let me cancel it out. Let me see what I think I closed. Okay, sorry, my bad. I closed the code window, so I have to again relaunch it. So Jitendra, we have still some time, right? I just want to show 10 minutes more.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sorry, actually.
No, no, no.
Okay, let me close it from first place. So now for implementation. So if I have to uh, implement a Anypoint application, I can use this develop and integration option. So if I click on this, it will allow me to create a project. So I'm just canceling it because I have already created some implementation here, and I'm going to show you. So let me open the folder again. Same thing under demo. Yeah. So I have a hello world code. Source. Yeah. So I have created a hello world code here. Okay. So before going to this hello world, I want to show you one more thing. I think this is the coolest feature in Anypoint Code Builder, which is not there in Studio. That is the code snippet. So let me show you first. So if you go to File, Preferences, and then Configure User Snippet. So if you click on this, you will get a MuleSoft XML.json snippet. I'm telling you, first, let me show you and then I will explain you what it will do for the time being. So, what you can do in Anypoint Code Builder, since majorly we are developing code using this XML editor. So, what you can do, you can create XML, I mean snippets, and based on that, this definition, your developer can start using this as a startup, means they need not to write everything by their own typing from the scratch. If you already define this code snippet file, and within that code snippet file, if you define all the components which you are going to use, connector configuration, it will automatically populate. So let me show you one, probably you can understand. So suppose I am using log. Okay, once I type log, you can see this is a logger which I already defined in my snippet file. So if I click on the snippet file, it will automatically populate it with all the necessary information. So, but if I don't use that snippet file, say again I'm typing log, and I'm using the log from that component file. So this is the, so suppose this is the log which is available, or this is the logger which is available from the component. If I click on this, I think this is a, basically I will not get all the information. Just one. If you see, if I use the code snippet, automatically it is populated with the payload because I have defined the code snippet in that way. But if I use logger, maybe logger is not open. Palette is not yet populated. Perhaps it's not coming. Yeah, let that on canvas to be populated first. See it. Sure. It's taking some time. Meanwhile, again, we have to open this code snippet part. So references. So this is the snippet file. Sorry. Okay. So this is the snippet file. So first time when you open this is the default snippet file, and I have taken this thing from MuleSoft documentation. So what we are doing is that we are creating different code snippet. So for suppose listener config. So I am saying that if I type HTTP listener config, it will start populating. I mean, first I will get an option with HTTP listener config, as I show you. Like here, if I type HTTP listener, suppose I HTTP listener. So I can take HTTP listener from my component palette, or I can take the HTTP listener config from my snippet. If I take it from my snippet, the advantage is that it will give me all the information pre-populated. So what I want my developer to do, they can only populate the host and port. Or you can think of further step ahead. You can pre-populate it with your configuration.property. If you are using a convention like everywhere, I will put it like http.host and port as http.port. You can create your snippet file in such a way that it will pre-populate this particular segment with http.host and http.port, and your developer need not to do anything. Only thing in the configuration file, they need to define the host and port according to their implementation. So that way, I mean, it will reduce lot of development effort and redundant development effort. And like I have used this Snowflake connector here. So if you see, I have used a Snowflake configuration, as well as I have used a Snowflake select operation. So I have already pre-populated all the configure. I mean, these are the variable which in my original code developer are supposed to replace with the value. So please do let me know if you have any question or it is clear what is the role of this snippet file, because I think this is a huge advantage in Anypoint. Yeah, we have template project in Anypoint Studio, but it is more than that, because template project you can add your best practices standard in the form of exception handling, maybe logging and all. But at the component level, we cannot put anything, right? So when I'm dragging and dropping the component, suppose I have, I mean, in our organization, I have a universal standard for a reconnecting strategy. All my HTTP connectors should follow the same kind of reconnection strategy, or MQ connector should follow the same kind of reconnection strategy. Then I can create a checklist and rely on the developers that they will follow it, and then in during the code review, I can check that whether they have followed it or not. But here what I can do, I can create a MQ connector or HTTP connector pre-populating with all those reconnection strategy, and developer, when they will start developing the code, they only need to select this. I mean, they will just start, just a moment. They will just start typing MQ or something. I mean, the keyword, that keyword will automatically give them an option. So here, if I start put a listener, so automatically it will give me an option. So this is the option, HTTP listener config. If I click on, it will populate the entire thing from the snippet file, whatever I have defined. Okay, so similarly for Snowflake also I can do that. For MQ also you can do that, and you can create all your whatever standard you want to follow everyone in your organization for that specific connector or for that component. You can define it in your snippet file, and you can enforce everyone to follow that, and it will help your developer a lot. I mean, they need not to remember everything. They can just use it from the snippet file, and they can continue. I mean, they can just do the configuration, whatever is your configurable part, which can be changed from implementation to implementation, that you can define with a variable, and that variable you can replace at the runtime. Okay, so this is one thing I want to show. uh, okay, so next thing is that I have created a Snowflake connector. So any connector, what you can do, you can go to command exchange, and I mean, from command palette, here is an option called import asset from exchange. If you click on this, you can import connectors. So I can import a connector. So I click on connectors, and now I want to use Snowflake connector. So I click Snowflake and press enter. It would automatically give me the Snowflake connector. If I click on this, it will going to add the dependency on the POM file, and this Snowflake connector will be available for use. Okay, I'm not doing this because I have already done this. So once, let me show you the POM file. So in the POM file, the dependency, I have that Snowflake connector added. So this is the I think this is the one. This is not the Snowflake connector. Yeah, so this is the Snowflake connector got added. So along with that, if you see, once I added the Snowflake connector, I can test the connection. So in the Snowflake connector also, if I want to test the connection, if I click on this, it will show me. I mean, this is the HTTP listener. I'm not sure why it is not showing this test connection over here. Delete this redundant connection. Okay, so if you are using any database connector or anything, sorry, not anything, I mean to say that which is not the inbuilt connector, MuleSoft connector, but you are that's a connector you want to connect, like Snowflake or any database connector, for example. What you need to do in addition to that, I mean, in addition to adding this connector from Exchange, you have to go to your POM file, and here first thing is that if you want to test it during development whether your connection is working fine or not, so you need to add this JDBC jar on your POM file. So I have added this Snowflake JDBC jar for this POM file. And the next thing what you need to do, next important thing, otherwise you cannot deploy your code to Cloud Hub, you will get a error, which is that it is in the Mule Maven plugin. You have to add this shared library. So these are the Snowflake JDBC you are adding as a shared library, so that JDBC will deploy it on your actual Cloud Hub runtime, where from you can run your code. So these are the two things you remember when you are adding any database connector, or any connector which is not inbuilt connector in the sense which doesn't come up as the basic connector. If you have to add anything from Exchange, download any connector from Exchange, so you need to take care of all these things. So yeah, so I think pretty much that's it. I mean, I didn't much cover on the integration because rest of the things are similar. We already seen that once you. Okay, so yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention, that is the debug part. So how you are going to debug it? So what you can do, see, you can put a breakpoint, okay, wherever you want. So suppose, still verifying. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a little bit working slow today, but let me show you. Give you one more. I mean, I think I need 5 more minutes, guys. So what I can do, if I want to debug my code from Anypoint Code Builder, I can create breakpoints. So I can put a breakpoint. Suppose I can put a breakpoint over here, or I can put a breakpoint in the transform message. So I mean, and this code is not a very, I mean, it's just a random code I create. I create some transform message for hello world. Then I am trying to, I mean, create a Snowflake connector, and from that Snowflake connector I have a demo, I mean, trial version Snowflake account where I have created a demo sequence. Basically, I'm just for testing purpose that from Anypoint Code Builder I can connect to Snowflake. What I did, I just use one select operation, and from that select operation I am just selecting on that sequence, and I'm taking the next value from it. So let's see, say that I want to test it now. I put some breakpoint over here, and now I am going to run and debug mode. So let me run it for here. Okay, so you can start debugging. Sure, what is happening? Let me refresh it once again. So this is the option where from you can run and debug. Give me 2 minutes. I think, yeah, it's refreshing. Okay. Click on run and debug. I'm not sure why it is coming like this. Or I can can debug from here also. One option. Yeah. I'm not sure it's starting then stopping. I'm not sure what is happening. Little bit weird. I mean, I don't face this issue earlier. If I start, see, you can see all the breakpoints I can see over here, whatever I said, but I'm not sure why it is not. Maybe I click too many times, or maybe it's slowly work. So let me open this other portal. Let me not waste any more time. So, let's see. Let me check this test API. So this is the damage part, my bad. So still it's in beta version. Sometimes it's behave weird. I'm not sure.
It's fine because I think
Okay.
we are running out of time now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think yeah. Only thing is that debug section. So debug is. I mean, it's. I mean, I already show you once that how we run. Only thing is that now you can add breakpoint. You. I'm just giving verbally. So and you can also add this. I mean, if, let me see. Yeah. So these are the window will be available. So based on your breakpoint, it will show you all the variables, payloads, what is the status. You can create a watch also. I mean, some expression you can define, and you can see that, like, if you can check the mime types across your code, how the code is being transformed from one type to another type. And yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the way how you can debug the entire application. I think
Sure.
that's it. Sorry guys, I mean, it's sorry Jitendra, I mean, I take a little bit more
No,
time.
no issue, no issue. Thank you so much, Ananda, for the wonderful session, and it is very really helpful. Okay, thank you so much, and looking forward for more session in the Surat MuleSoft.
Sure,
Do
sure,
you have any
sure.
question? You can just ask to Ananda. Uh, yeah. Otherwise, I will close the session. Basically, So basically, I think you can try this Anypoint code builder on your trial account. Basically, right? So you can create the Anypoint platform trial account. You can start trying Anypoint code builder. Don't just close the session. Thanks everyone for joining the session. Have a nice weekend. Thanks Ananda for the wonderful session. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
Thank
Bhavina, where should we get this recording session?
You can find it on event page itself, right? So